Hi, Jackson back with you at Song Mentor, and today's rockin' song is actually a blues rockin' song. It was first recorded by Bo Diddley on his debut LP in 1957. The album was released in 1958. Before You Accuse Me, take a look at yourself. Willie Dixon played bass on that track, and the song, of course, has been re-recorded a few times since, most notably by CCR on their Cosmos Factory LP, and the electric version by Eric Clapton on his Journeyman album. Here's the blues, Before You Accuse Me. Take a look at yourself. Okay, well, Before You Accuse Me is a 12-bar blues in the key of E, and you can play this whole song with just a simple blues chop if you like, and it goes something like this. Probably the first riff that a blues player ever learns is just that straight blues chop. And all I'm doing there is my pointer finger is on the B note of the A string, the 2nd fret, and my 3rd finger goes on and off the 4th fret of the A string. Before you accuse me. Now we switch to the A chop, which is open A note, open A string, and our work is now on the D string with our 1st and 3rd fingers. The 3rd chord is the B. So if you wanted to do the whole song, you could basically do it just like that. Before you accuse me, take a look at yourself. Before you accuse me, take a look at yourself. You say I've been spending my money on other women. I'm taking my money from somewhere else. So the only things I didn't show you very clearly there were, of course, the B chord, which is the 5 chord in the progression. And I'm playing it here rather than down here. It's just a really long stretch here. It's pretty easy to slide up to that 7th fret bar chord. So as this turns out, my 3rd finger is on the 9th fret of the A string, and my pinky finger is on and off the 11th fret of the A string. And I'm finishing that up with a B7 chord, which is, just a variation on going back up to the B chord to finish the progression. So again, the blues chop. Spending my money on other women. I'm taking my money from somewhere else. And around we go. And in the midst of all that, we put some guitar solos in. We do all that stuff and have a lot of fun with it. So let's talk about some of the riffing that can enhance this a little bit and turn it into more than just that basic 12-bar blues riffing that I just showed you. Now here are a couple little enhancements, or if you like, variations on what you can do with this. On this E chop, and all I'm doing there is hammering up from the B note, just the note I play in the chop, and then hammer, and then the 4th string, which is, of course, on the 2nd fret. That's also an E note. So here's what the right hand's doing during that. So you're picking down on strings 6 and 5 for the chop, and then you're picking down on the A string and hammering on the 4th fret, and then picking down on the 4th string. move that up and play it on the A string as well. Now, when he gets to the B chord, as an alternative to playing the then back to the A and then back to the E, he does this. That kind of staggered B7 chord, just a little alternative there. And then when we go to the A, he's got a neat little riff that he plays here. Here's that little riff, after the B7. So that's just the A chop. So it's just that little box. And then back into the E chop. And that's just an open G string and an E note. Alternating. And then finishes up again. So putting that all together, it would sound something like this. Okay, well there's that studio version intro of Before You Accuse Me, and having listened to and watched a lot of the YouTube videos of Eric Clapton playing this song, that's pretty much the intro he uses every time he plays it as an electric version of the song. And so let's take that apart. It starts like that. So we're picking down on the open B string. And we're also picking down on this. We're not hammering this one. We're picking down on the D note. Okay, 3rd fret of the B string. Picking up on the open E string. And then picking down on the G note of the high E string. So the first 4 notes are. Right hand looks like this. From there we have 6 notes, and they are all either open E, the D note on the B string, or the G note. So it all goes back and forth from 3rd fret, 1st and 2nd string, or else open 1st string. Up on the open first, then the D note, then the open 1st again, then the G note, then the open 1st again, then the D note. And you can slow that down. Right hand looks like this. So putting those first 2 bits together. Next little section is like this. We got our 2nd finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. We're going to pick down on it. And then we're just going to hammer down with the 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string. Then we're going to pick down on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. And then up on the 1st string. And if you catch the 2nd string, that's good. So your right hand looks like this. Okay, so far we have this. We finish up with this. Da da da, just 3 notes on the B note of the A string, 2nd fret. And then we're going to climb into that progression. So we're going to play a D, an E flat, and then an E, and then. So putting it all together, and we'll slow it right down here. When we do our playthrough for this song, we're only going to play through one verse because the song is the same. It's a 12-bar blues all the way through. But what I am going to do is do a little picture-in-picture with you and show you a couple of riffs that you can add in the middle of all that, the basic 12-bar chopping, a couple things that he does in the first verse, and then you can add more of your own little blues riffs throughout the song if you like. But here's the first one, and again, it's based on this... the 3rd fret of the 1st string and the 3rd fret of the 2nd string mixed with open strings there. So it's not that part. That's just an A note and a G, and then a little hammer here. And then a pickup on the open E, high E. A second little riff I'm going to show you is the one that kind of finishes off the phrase. And what he does is take your first finger, put it on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. I'm just going to slide it up 1 fret like this. This is what the right hand's doing. Okay, then we're going to go to that hammer that we just used earlier. So we're going to pick down on the A note. So A, G, E, and then the hammer. That's E, D, and then the B7 chord that finishes it off. So slowly again. Okay, watch for those 2 riffs. We'll put them in picture-in-picture while we play the main riff and sing on the main screen. Let's do a playthrough. Before you accuse me, take a look at yourself. Before you accuse me, take a look at yourself. You say I've been spending my money on other women. I'm digging my money for somewhere else. Alright, well, fine-tuning today is a little bit of a fine challenge, if you like. Just play around with some of the other riffs that you hear. Sometimes less is more. He doesn't do very much. It's not very complicated. It's just stuff like that. Have a lot of fun with it. That's Before You Accuse Me, Eric Clapton. We'll see you next time on Songman.